Hello, wonderful person. The ache that we have, that I have, that you have in your being to experience health and happiness and prosperity, not just for you and not just for those you know, but for the world is so strong. When you can feel that inside you, when you can feel that not only do you want to be happy, healthy, prosperous, whole, but you know that your life needs to be dedicated to raising the vibrational amperage of humanity. And what that simply means is that so there doesn't have to be lack for anyone. When you can feel that ache in your being for children starving, for people being tortured and murdered, if you can feel that in your heart, in your being, and if you can feel the desire to say, I want to make a difference, then this community, this movement is exactly right for you. And here's a universal truth. Not only can you have the time of your life changing your world, you can have the time of your life changing the world, having fun while doing it. We have no option to go back to the ways that we've known to change the world with the harshness, with the depleting effort that we have continually expended in humanity. It is time for us to know that the path into pleasure and joy and oneness and hope for one and all is literally pleasure and joy and hope and oneness for one and all. The Galactic Council of Women is the essence of prosperity in motion, to prosper, to expand, to grow, to no longer be bound by the limits of someone else's imagination from centuries or eons ago, and to reimagine that we can use our squiggles, money, power agreements, to not just serve our own health and happiness because we think it's some limited commodity, but that we can serve for one and all. But I don't believe there's a person on the planet that doesn't deep in their core want everyone to feel good because they know deep within, and I believe you who are listening right now know deep within that everyone on the planet has an effect on each other. If there's anything the last couple years have taught us is that we are a worldwide community. And let's spread the virus of optimism, well-being, source energy, health, happiness, prosperity faster than a virus, faster than fear. Now I sound like Superman, but that's exactly it. And on the Galactic Council, we get to bring the fun and play and imagination of your 5-year-old self to create with that kind of unbridled imagination combined with the conscious, mature energy and perspective of the adult. There is nothing that can stop us from reimagining the world. Imagination, simply put, is the creative power that made the heavens and the earth. And we can create in the imagination of fear or let other people's imagination dominate our own mental processes and therefore actions and outcomes. Or we can sit back, reclaim our imagination, our divine, or whatever word you need for something greater than yourself, birthright, soul right is, and start or continue to create from the highest and healthiest and most joyful, fun, crazy, great, imaginative process ever. Do you remember your little self, your child self? Do you remember playing? Open-minded, open-hearted, willing self who just loved to play. Do you remember what you wanted? How you played? From a very young age, like 7, 8, 9, I started to really concentrate and spend time thinking about how did miracles happen? I mean, I'd heard about miracles, I'd saw movies about miracles, and I started to imagine, I had this I always had this belief that if enough people concentrated on a child who was sick, that child would get better. I just knew it to be true. And I used to then imagine, once I kind of knew what the lottery was, and when the Publishers Clearinghouse would come to people on the TV with their millions of dollars, I used to think if I won millions of dollars in a lottery, what would I do with it? Well, first I would give it to my parents and my friends and family who needed it. And then whatever, causes I thought were good. But I would then create a forum to say at this moment in time or at this day or in these days, we're going to focus on this person, this child, and just imagine them well. And I knew it could happen. And then as I got older, I was mainstream in college, always had these kind of ideas, mainstream when I went to law school, but always had these ideas of the miracle and more as I would read about, Beyond and Back was a movie when I was 7 about what happens when you die. When I read books about energy healing in the 80s, not knowing what that was, but do we have that power? When I played Elizabeth Montgomery in Bewitched and tried to twinkle my nose and make things move and clean up so I didn't have to. And as an adult, I started to think, oh, there's someone else that can do that, not me. And then when Oprah became huge, I'm like, oh, Oprah's going to do it. And she is really profoundly in her own way. Or Wayne Dyer is going to do it. And he did in his own way. Or so many other people now. Abraham Hicks or Joe Dispenza or any of the amazing people out there like John Wineland. There's so many people that are bringing their unique talents for the transformation of the world. Master Stephen Coe, Tony Robbins. I could go on and on and on. But specifically, my brand, my inspiration, my imagination was a little different than that. And the Galactic Council of Women is even increasing my imagination that it's not just about children who are sick in a physical sense. It's about everyone at every stage in their life. We are infinite beings. I know that to be true, and we can always experience more. So if we're experiencing suffering, we can experience less. I have been a warrior to dissolve unnecessary suffering because I think we do it to ourselves, because I know I have for years and years and years, and it's just not needed anymore. And so the Galactic Council of Women, I thought, why not me? Those other people are wonderful, but I've had the blessing to cultivate a lifetime of interest in what energy is, what miracles are, how to affect positive change, how to unleash the power within me and everyone else for a world where no child has to starve, be beaten, be mutilated, fear whether they're going to have enough food, cry for their parents' food insecurity, or whatever plagues us as human beings when we feel limited. I then knew that being in the grace of having decades of receiving and finding the most ancient and esoteric practices around what is true and possible, combined with the most mainstream thought and wisdom and research, I knew it was time for me to start something, and it had to be funny and crazy. Now, it might not be funny to many people, the Galactic Council of Women, all genders welcome, but if you can know that it is time to let go of shame, which cripples us as a human species, and let go of the insidious mind pride that causes that shame, and rise into the humility of someone who longs to feel better and see the world feel better, and have the dignity of that kind of energy, which is sustainable, lasting, and continues to amplify a natural rhythm, then that is what I want to stand for, and that's what I want to bring to the world. If what I'm sharing resonates with you, if it floats your boat, if it tickles your fancy, if it rings your bell, or whatever euphemism or saying that makes you feel alive inside, that makes you feel like something actually can change for the better and that you can be part of it in an easy and joyful way, then this community is for you. There has never been a community or a Galactic Council of Women, all genders welcome before, that is as easeful, joyful, as powerful, and as meaningful as this community is and is destined to continue to become. Now, you might be asking yourself, what am I going to get as being part of this community and movement? Well, what are you not going to get because it's so crazy great? But for really honoring your rational brain and the reasonable mind, I am going to share with you and your whole being a series of benefits, and that word doesn't even describe it, that you're going to get as being part of this community, part of this natural rhythmic movement. You will receive infusions of the highest light energy, of pure energy for you to create the life that you uniquely long for, that you want to play with, that you want to experience. You will receive an invitation to be part of quarterly intergalactic conferences and forums. I mean, doesn't that sound crazy great fun? I mean, a quarterly intergalactic conference or forum? Yes, let's do it. You will be invited to attend yearly intergalactic in-person conferences and forums, which I imagine being in delightful places in the world. The first one that's set for February 22nd, 2022, 2022. I'm imagining somewhere in perhaps the east coast of Puerto Rico, or maybe one of the islands off of Puerto Rico, where the conferences will be held floating in Caribbean blue waters, where our task will be to experience joy and oneness and space to continue to reimagine a new world filled with love and prosperity for one and all. You will receive Galactic Transmissions from me that will come through the medium of your email, that will let you be part of the energy of the moment. I have as my job, my finger on the pulse of the energy that's needed at any one time for humanity, for myself, for my clients, for my colleagues, for the council members. And in that space, these transmissions will come to you, perhaps once a week, every 2 weeks, or in any kind of random, although meaningful time frame, to bring you joy, energy, and awareness of not just what you need, but what everyone needs. And in these transmissions, I will hook you up with many of the resources that I have had the great benefit to receive so that you can seek them out too. Every day, I will include you in my personal practice of healing, meditation, and focused prayer. And you will be able to receive those energetic pulsations for you specifically, for the Galactic Council as a whole, and for the world. You will be part of a matrix of pure goodness that effortlessly joins you to the energy needed to create your ultimate life and the best life for all of humanity and this precious planet of ours. This matrix that you're part of will enhance your individuality while enhancing the individuality of everyone else from the perspective of oneness, acceptance, and universal prosperity and hope for all. That is a unique kind of matrix that's being formed right now. If you know how much your personal health, happiness, and prosperity matters, how it serves the world, and how you want to serve the world, then join me, join us, join the pure energy of just what the world needs now. I love music, I love singing, I love dancing, I love how rhythm affects my body in the most delightful ways. So I'm going to conclude by sharing with you a song that I love, just a verse from it, like universe, one rhythm. The song was written by Burt Bacharach and Hal David and sung by Jackie DeShannon many years ago. And I changed a couple of the words. I don't think that they would mind. And I share this with you and let this just pulsate into your being And take a deep breath, the kind of breath that relaxes and enlivens, that propels you most naturally into the state of being you long for. As I sing these words to you, I sing them with devotion, I sing them with faith, I sing them with strength and power, I sing them with such love and such hope. What the world needs now is truth, sweet truth, no, not just for some, but for everyone. What the world needs now is love, sweet love, no, not just for some, but for everyone. Everyone. Truth, love, prosperity, and more for everyone, especially you, wonderful person. Love and blessings.